Hey, look! Watch. I'm pretty fast at twitching chords, if you ask me personally. And I will tell you, I'm pretty fast at twitching chords, if you know what I mean. People in the world, friends and relatives, we are here to talk about tips for switching chords quickly. But first, can I tell you a great idea I have? I have this bag of dried Carolina Reaper chili peppers. I have this water bottle full of water. I'm not gonna do this today. I'm not gonna do it today. But I was thinking, what would happen if I took one of these chili peppers, put it in my water bottle, let it sit there for like 2 hours, and then just drank out of the water bottle like it was normal water? What do you think would happen? I'm legitimately curious. In the comments, do you think I would feel the fire of the chili peppers or not? I'm gonna get a whiff of these chili peppers real quick. We're gonna learn the tips. Oh. That's an experience. People of the world, friends and relatives, how would you feel about it if we learned 3 tips right off the tip of my bat, and then if I talked about other random stuff for a couple minutes? Would that be okay? Let's see how it goes. Chord switching tip number 1. This is the single most important tip. If you only pay attention to one thing for the rest of your life, this is the one thing you should pay attention to. When you are switching chords, do not just try to go from one chord immediately to the next chord. You want to strum the open strings in between the chords. Let me explain. Let's say you're going from a G chord to a C chord. A pretty difficult switch if you are a beginner guitarist. A lot of fingers have to change. All of them have to change, in fact. So if you try to just go immediately from G to C, watch this. It is almost impossible. You end up like jerking over to the chord. It's gonna sound choppy and abrupt, and it's just gonna be way too hard. You don't wanna have to be like ready to switch at a moment's notice. You wanna be able to just, in a relaxed manner, switch from chord to chord. So instead of going like that, you wanna go. Did you catch? Ready? Look, slow motion. Here's the bad way you don't want to do it, where you don't strum the open strings. You ready? In slow motion. Now here's the good, cool, new hotness way that you want to switch chords with strumming the open strings between the chords. 5, 6, here we go. And so when you play it slowly, it kind of sounds a little bit worse this way, but I don't think really in the grand scheme of things you know what you're talking about. So maybe you should just shut up and let me teach the lesson. This is the basic way you want to think about it. On your last strum up of a chord before switching to another chord, instead of strumming that same chord up, you're going to lift up your fingers and strum up at the same time. So you're going to strum the open strings and then be ready to come down on the next chord. So let's say that you're playing G. I don't think I need to give an example. I think you know what I'm talking about. I'm also sick of talking about this. People of the world, friends and relatives, tip number 2, the bass note trick. Here is the bass note trick for switching chords. Let's just use G and C again. Let's say you're playing G and then you're switching to C, and it's really tough for you to switch to G and then get to C in time. Here's what you can do. You can play the G chord, then when it's time to switch to C, oh, did you see what I did? Let me do it again. I'm gonna slow it down a tiny little bit. 1, 2, listen here, and G chord, ja-boom, boom, down, and the C chord. Did you see what I did? Oh, did you see what the bass fisherman did? What I did was when I switched to the C chord, I got my ring finger to that bass note, that root note of the C right away. I plucked that string as I was getting my other fingers ready and then strummed down on the chord. So instead of just G, then immediately to C, I went boom, ka, Jumping, keeping, kapunka, and the bass note. And then, you see how these fingers, I went bass note, then got these fingers ready when I needed them. So here's the moral of the story. When you're switching chords, you don't need to have the whole chord ready from the beginning. As long as you get the root note in place, you can play that root note and then get the rest of your fingers in place and strum. This is especially useful with bar chords. Let's say you're going from an E minor to a G bar chord. You can go like, and look at this, here we go. Did you see what just happened? I got my pointer finger there on that bass note, played it, then got everything else in place. So what a good tip. Guys, I'm so happy you're here. Tip number 3, chord push-ups. This is not so much like a tip for like, well, it is a tip. This is a very good tip. What are you talking about? Please I really wish you would stop interrupting and just let me give you the tips. This is like a practice exercise. Is there a chord that it's tough for you to switch to? Maybe the C chord. The C chord is an infamously, notoriously hard chord to switch to. So you get your C chord all ready to go. You just don't worry about anything else. Just get your C chord ready. And here's what you're going to do. You're going to push with all your fingers, relax all your fingers. Push all your fingers, relax all your fingers. I'm calling it chord push-ups. Here's the magic ingredient though. If you don't do this one thing, then it's a big waste of time. Do not do each finger one at a time. I want you to push with all 3, relax all 3. Everything has to be in unison. So it's push, relax. Push, relax. What you're doing is you're training your fingers to push down on the shape at the same time together. It's just like a drill. It's the same as if you were on a lacrosse team and you did your switchback double pass drills. Okay? It's just like that. All right, so that was 3 tips. So now I get to chat about whatever I want. That was the agreement we made. You signed the paperwork. I didn't tell you that you signed it, but you did. Now, I know you don't remember, but that's because I cast a spell on you to give you memento disease, where you don't remember what just happened. So here's what I wanted to talk about first. I wanted to say that I call this a topic video. I'm not teaching you a song. I just choose a topic and then I talk about it. It's basically the Marin Music Center podcast. Okay. So I don't know if I'm going to I don't know. I wish let's get back to the tips. What I'm trying to say is it's going to be like a pretty regular thing as my topic podcast videos where it's just a chance for me to hang out with my friends. The only reason I make these videos is just so that it's just like I have whatever, 500,000 friends, and it's really fun. I recommend that you have 500,000 friends, but if possible, have it so those friends don't so you communicate with them, but they don't communicate with you. You know how when you're in a conversation and it's really fun when you get to talk, but then when other people get to talk, you're kind of like, well, this is a bummer. This is like a friendship where I really respect you and I really want to know everything about you, but but I'm the one who gets to talk, okay? So thank you for that. I'm glad that you respect my boundaries. My name's Stuart Alexander Lehman-brown. Tip number 4 is about finger angle. You ready for this? A lot of people think that when they're playing chords, they need to have their fingers very properly spaced apart. It's just not true. It's a lie, and it was fed to you by the man to keep you down. When you're playing most chords, you actually want your fingers at a 45-degree angle from the chord. So if you're trying to go G and then switch to C and then switch to D, it's brutal. Angle your fingers, bruh. If you angle, even on a bar chord, you can have a little bit of an angle. Not as much of an angle on a bar chord, but you can have some. Do you see this angle that I'm talking about? Your fingers are not going straight up to the strings. They're at this angle. If you bring your thumb up over the top, that'll help with most chords to help you get that angle. That's enough about that. I have 9 tips. It's going to take forever if I spend 4 minutes on each tip. Let's see, what's 9 times 4? 36. 36 minutes. That's not that much time, but it's longer than I want it to be. That's what she said. I'm feeling very manic today. I get very manic when I'm doing the topic/podcast episodes. I always have. It's because if I have to like tell you a bunch of fret, if I got like second fret, third string from the top, and then play the A minor 7 with your pinky on the third fret of the bottom string, that just makes me miserable and depressed. And so when you get rid of the misery and depression, then I just get like manic and excited and nervous. So, I'm not making an excuse. I'm just explaining what's happening here. Oh shoot, darn it. I messed up. So tip number 5 is keep your thumb up on top for most chords. I already told you that one. Not for every chord. For a bar chord, do not have your thumb up over the top of the neck. Are you crazy? For a chord that's really stretched out, don't have your thumb up over the top. For that, you want to bring your thumb down like this. But for all of the basic cowboy chords with open strings and stuff, just keep your thumb up over the top. You can even have your thumb mute the top string for like every chord. The E chord, you're not supposed to have your thumb mute the top string, but if it does, the chord still sounds great. Doesn't even matter. You can just have your thumb drape over the top and hit the top string all the time. No one's going to call you out for it. They're going to congratulate you for it. People of the world, friends and relatives, tip number 6 is, whenever possible, keep an anchor finger. What does that mean? I'll tell you. When switching chords, a lot of the time you get to keep one finger either in the exact same spot, or you get to keep a finger on the same string. So anytime you're switching chords, think to yourself, can I keep a finger in the same spot? If the answer is yes, make it a priority to keep it in the same spot without moving it at all. If you do not get to keep a finger in the same spot, think to yourself, do I at least get to keep a finger on the same string? Notice it, and then if that is an option, do it. Have it where a chord, like, okay, I'm trying to think of an example. How about, no. 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 This happens all the time, but I cannot think of a single example. Yeah. If you can keep a finger on the same string, just let that finger glide along the string. I forgot how to play guitar. Great. That's tip number 6. Tip number 7. If you are really struggling switching from chord to chord in a timely, consistent, coherent manner, start with these very easy chord switches. Are you ready? So these are some chord switching exercises for you. Go from A minor to C. You only have to move your ring finger. Your pointer finger and middle finger stay in the same spot. Keep pushing down with your pointer finger and middle finger. Only move your ring finger. Just practice going like down, 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 and boom. Oh, do you see what I just did there? So I'm going down, 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 up, down. But on that up, it's the last strum of the chord, so I'm lifting up my finger on that last strum. Down, 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 up, boom, 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 and boom. You only move one finger. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Here's another exercise for you. Switching from G to D. I recommend doing G, where you have middle finger, 3rd fret, top string, pointer finger, 2nd fret, 2nd string from the top, ring finger and pinky, 3rd fret on the bottom 2 strings. When you switch to D, lift up everything except your ring finger. Keep your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 2nd string from the bottom. But Uncle Stuart, when I play G, I do it like this, where I have my ring finger on the bottom string and nothing on the 2nd string from the bottom, because I read that in a book. Yeah, well, stop. You might want to consider not playing G that way for a while. Like, you can play it for some songs, but in general, do G like this. Then, when you switch to D, you keep the ring finger in the same spot. Do not move your ring finger. Lift everything else. Then your middle finger goes to 2 on the bottom. Pointer finger goes to 2 on the 3rd from the bottom. Mute the top string with your thumb. Look at this. Notice how I'm lifting up my fingers on that last strum, up, down, down, up. It's a callback to tip number 1. Oh my goodness. If I'm being perfectly honest, I thought this video was going to be a lot more podcasty. I thought I was going to be talking about a lot more random stuff. I actually thought that I was going to put the Carolina Reaper into my water bottle, but I just totally chickened out. And I think I'm going to go out with my wife after this, and I don't want to be all like hot and bothered. Or maybe I do want to be all hot and bothered. Don't bring that up in the podcast. I don't know. Should I just call it the Marin Music Center podcast? I'm not going to. I might, though. I had 2 other exercises for you, but I don't want to show them to you. People of the world, friends and relatives, tip number 8. Rhythm is more important than finger dexterity. Here's what I mean by that. You might be thinking the trick, the key to switching chords is just to have really fast, quick, nimble, dexterous fingers. If I'm going from an F to a C7, I just need to be able to go boom and just switch right away. Not true. The important part is to actually feel the rhythm the whole time. So do not sacrifice groove and feeling the rhythm and understanding of the rhythm for just sheer speed with switching chords. You could switch chords instantly where you literally just go from one chord to the next. But if you do not feel the rhythm, it's still going to sound like you don't know how to switch chords. So practice slowly. Make sure you can feel the rhythm. Make sure you're not kind of like trying to just coast through the rhythms and hope everything ends up okay. You really need to be able to feel the rhythm of the song. People of the world, friends and relatives, we only have one more tip, and I'm looking at it. It's not even that good of a tip. Like, it's an important tip. These are all important tips, but we're not going out with a bang. We're going out with a whimper. That's what she's... People of the world, friends and relatives, the final tip, tip number 9, is you don't need to always use the tips of your fingers. When you read method books, when you take beginner guitar classes and stuff, they tell you that for chords, you always need to use the tip of your finger. It's not bad advice, but it's not great advice either. Sometimes using the very tips of your fingers like makes it so much harder to get to a chord quickly because your fingers miss the strings and it's hard to control when you're trying to use the very, very, very tips. So I'm here today to tell you that for a lot of chords, you can get away with using the pads of your fingers. Like for the G chord, look at my middle finger. Does that look like I'm using the tip? I am not using the tip. My pointer finger, I'm only kind of using the tip. My ring finger is only kind of using the tip. My pinky even is not really using the tip. My pinky's kind of laying down flat. But yet, listen to this. Listen. Using a lot of pads and listen. Sounds great. How about the C chord? Like my pointer finger and my middle finger, I'm using the tip. My ring finger? Hello, McFly. Does that look like I'm using the tip of my finger? Looks like a pad to me. You don't have to automatically always use the tips of your fingers. If you insist on using the very tip of your finger for every chord, it's going to make it a lot slower and harder to get to those chords. Experiment with kind of finding a middle ground. You're sort of using the pad, sort of using the tip. I don't know. It's more complicated than that, but I should have made this 8 tips for improving the quick rhythm of chord switching. Hope you had a great episode of the podcast. Next week, special guest next week on the podcast, special guest Paul Bunyan and Dave the Blue Ox from Folklore and Mythology. My name is Stuart Alexander Lehman-brown. There won't be a guest in the next episode.